Very clear. I am well aware that there is a YouTuber named Antoine Bandel that has been doing this. I don't want you to think that I'm trying to rip him off. Don't think I am in any way trying to compete with him. I mean, just look at the sub difference. I mean, Jesus. I only decided to make this series because I'm a fan of him and just wanted to join in on the fun. So go check out his channel if you want the less shitty version of what you're about to watch. Welcome to Codwart's School of Warcraft and Blizzardry. At least, that's what it's called until I can think of a name that doesn't suck. In this series, I'm going to look at different video game franchises and sort the main characters into the 4 houses in Harry Potter: Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, and Slytherin. The first episode is one that I considered because I thought it would be considerably easy while still requiring critical thought. So Connor, get ready to punch me in the face the next time you see me, because this episode is on Life is Strange. The characters I'm going to be analyzing are those that I think qualify as main characters only, and I will limit them to only those who substantially affect the game. With that being said, today's new students are Max, Chloe, Nathan, David, and Jefferson. Let's begin with Max. First, let's see how well she will fare in Gryffindor. Gryffindor is the House of the Lion, and its students are the bravest and most willful of the houses. They are warriors at heart, the embodiment of pride and valor, but from their strengths derive their weaknesses. Gryffindors are known for their hot-headed aggression and potential for violence. They fight with chivalry and a fearless sense of duty, but it is through their passion and unwavering will that they find victory. Though I feel Max does have undeniable courage, I don't believe Gryffindor is best suited for her. For as it is said, a moment of valiance does not define a Gryffindor. A Gryffindor defines valiance. Max is certainly not a proud person. In fact, she can be quite meek and submissive. She does have passion, but it is not for life. It is for a goal. She often shows a resentment of running in head first, preferring to come to an understanding and make calculated choices. And she does have an enduring will, but it does not define her being. It comes from a moment of necessity. I think the best example to show why Gryffindor is not a place for her is the scene from the beginning of the game. When she witnesses a girl being murdered, she does not fight the attacker. Rather, she hides, and upon discovering the alarm, sounds it, scaring the attacker away. She examines her options and makes a choice that ends without violence, whereas a Gryffindor would charge in, prepared to take a bullet for someone in need. But let's move on to Hufflepuff, the House of the Badger. Hufflepuffs are the kindest and most honorable of the houses. They are peacekeepers, preferring to use kind words and understanding to end their conflicts. But this makes them targets, seen as weak and gullible to those who would abuse them. This is where I would say Max is most at home. Though she is far from gullible, she's certainly not a capable fighter, nor is she an intimidating foe. Because of this, she diffuses conflict with a desire to promote peace through hope and goodwill. This shines brightest in the scene where David confronts Chloe for possession of drugs. If the player were to choose to step in, Max would lie and say the drugs were hers. Though she knows this will tarnish her reputation, she's willing to make the sacrifice if it helps those in need. Though the game is about choice, and there are many choices that can be seen as harsh or unjust, I will go off a majority rule. This being that more often than not, she is played as a person who uses fairness and mercy rather than deception and cruelty. That being said, onto more aspects of Hufflepuff. Max is certainly loyal, always standing by her friends and doing everything she can to help them. I have no doubt that she is hardworking, but it does not seem to be a virtuous aspect as much as a necessary attribute. In all, Max would certainly find her place in Hufflepuff. And what about Ravenclaw, the House of the Eagle? Ravenclaws have no equal in their intellect and thirst for knowledge. They dedicate their lives to the pursuit of a higher understanding, but with this knowledge comes arrogance and a cynical outlook on the world around them. Though Max is certainly well educated and has a Ravenclaw's typical enthusiasm for learning, she does not carry herself with the structure or sense of wisdom of other Ravenclaws. She often doubts herself and relies on others to reassure her, which is a polar opposite to Ravenclaw, which prides itself on self-assurance. This shows in the middle of episode 3, Chaos Theory. When Max prepares to leave, Chloe confronts her saying that she needs to take action and be more confident. This is where she challenges Max to kiss her. In all, I feel that though she shares some traits with Ravenclaw, it does not ultimately encompass her. And finally, Slytherin, the House of the Serpent. Slytherin is by far the most controversial house, but it has its virtues just as any other. Slytherins are the strongest leaders and the most charismatic speakers, but this can make them manipulative and deceitful. This is no place for Max. She tends to lack leadership, depending on others to take charge. She's not deceitful by nature, preferring honesty and trust. And though she is not uncouth, well, just look at this.
Must protect my precious so Max never has to chase it down again.
I feel the most prevalent example of this is the junkyard scene where Frank confronts Max and Chloe. Frank pulls a knife. Max stares him down with a gun. Though there is a choice here, I will go by the average gameplay majority as previously stated. This Max would choose to surrender the gun and trust his moral judgment rather than risk shooting him and provoking his violence. In all, Slytherin is not meant to be. Looking over the results, Max lacks Gryffindor's pride and hot-headedness. She honors loyalty and kindness as a Hufflepuff would, but is not so easily manipulated. Though she values knowledge as a Ravenclaw would, she's insecure and lacks confidence. And she is the antithesis of Slytherin, lacking their leadership and charisma and condemning their deceitful nature. I believe Max is best suited for House Hufflepuff.